Every time I'd see him, it's just, he felt like he did his dad job. My mom would call him Disneyland dad.
Oh,
because like I'd see him take me to do something fun, but then he'd make sure to like engrave in me those 3 things. And he felt like, okay, I did my job. Even though you think that your kid doesn't know, or you think you're being quiet around the house, or you think they can't hear that phone call, or you think they can't hear the yelling at 3 a.m. No, I'm here to tell you that we can hear it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say, and it's better off that you don't talk bad about him, because at the end of the day, that is respectfully, no matter what he's done to you, that is your daughter's dad.
Yeah. Yes.
But trust me when I say, she will see it on her own, and she will see why you guys aren't together, and she will see the type of man her father is on her own.
Hi everyone, I'm Karina Reyna. I'm a family law attorney at Reyna Law.
Hi everyone, I'm Heidi Castaneda, the paralegal and office manager at Reyna Law.
On Drama in Session, we talk about what family law really looks like once the paperwork is filed and the emotions are high.
We spill a little tea from our caseload because family law can get messy, but the bigger goal is to talk honestly about what people are actually going through when they find themselves in the middle of legal and emotional chaos.
Through our conversations, topics, and guest speakers, we break down what's really happening behind the scenes and help you make sense of the conflict, the court process, and everything in between, so you're not walking through it feeling lost or alone.
Welcome to Drama in Session.
Hi guys, welcome to Drama in Session with Karina
and Heidi.
This morning we have a wonderful special guest.
None other but my bestie,
Jaslyn
Ortega.
Yes.
Say hi.
Hi. Which camera? I'm like, there's so many here.
So many, right? So tell us a little bit about your life and why we chose you on Drama in Session.
Yes, I was chose today because I actually don't have one divorced parent, but I have 2. So my mom was divorced twice. So I'm here today just to talk about what it's like in the day and life of my 30 years of life, what I've had to endure, just being a person that had to deal with all these, whether it be trauma, whether it be like the good times, the bad times, and just all those obstacles that I had to go through. So I'm here to talk about that today so that maybe it could impact any mom or dad that's going through this, maybe encourage dads to put more of a motive forward, or also have mom be that light and also be that empowerment for their daughter, their son going forward. You know, it's very hard, I know, for every parent as well. I could see that my mom and my dad both went through it during that time, you know, so.
Yeah. I know, I was telling Karina because we were, planning our next speaker, and I happened to be having dinner with Jaslyn as we do every day. And she was like, oh, like who's your next speaker? And I was like, you know what? I was like, why did I not even think of you? You have, your parents got married, and then you had that divorce, and then your mom remarried, and then that was a divorce.
We're used to all the chaos. Yeah, that's why.
And then when we sit and analyze, we're like, wait, you're a perfect guest speaker, so that parents can see those dynamics.
So it's like,
So you said that your mom was married to your dad originally, right? And then you went through that divorce. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that was so quick. My mom basically had me, got married and divorced within 1 year. My mom actually didn't even want to go to her wedding. She was crying hysterically. They had to pay extra money just to like redo the whole wedding basically, because she was 2 hours late to her own wedding. And that's another thing too, just all that, back then it was so different. It was so like, my grandma was like, you're pregnant, guess what? You're getting married now, So it's not like today. So with that even having to be in a forced marriage with somebody that you don't really know. I mean, my mom didn't really know my dad that well. And then they had me, So, and my mom to this day always says she would not trade in anything. And it was crazy because my mom wanted to be a lawyer. Actually, that was her dream, was to be a lawyer. And she'll be like, I chose you instead. I chose you instead, like instead of that path. But I feel like now looking back, my mom, if she would have done things just differently, maybe it would have been a different outcome, or she would have made those changes sooner, like left my dad sooner, even my stepdad sooner. I think the family dynamic would have been a lot better, looking back.
Or maybe if your mom was more like women are now, right? They want to go after their goals and dreams, even with children. But back then it was a little different, because I think I struggled with that when I had my son in undergrad, I was 22. I'm like, how am I gonna have a kid? I'm still a kid. Who would give me a child? And I told myself, I have to go to law school. I have to go forward with my career. Otherwise, I don't want this to be a setback. I want him to be, you know, a blessing, which he definitely was, but I want it to be a blessing all around.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that women give up so much in their life for their kids, but then what does that get you? You're not as happy as you could have been. And I mean, it's stressful going to school, having kids, having a career, but it's worth it. And so I think, you know, especially since you said that about your mom, I think a lot of people need to understand that in order to be a happy mom, you should be able to put yourself first and your goals in a way so that you don't impact your children's happiness because you're looking at it like, I gave up everything for you.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot.
Yeah. And my mom and I are like best friends. So even little me growing up, I'm sure if I had such a great support system. Like I had my grandma, my aunt, and my mom who were they were all three playing that mom role for me. So it was like, it never felt like, even if I didn't have my stepdad growing up, that no me faltó. Like I wasn't missing anything in my life, you know? So, and that too, like having those those women in my life. I think if my mom would have went after her goal, I would have understood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And even when I was 18 or 19, I would still be like, you can still go to law school.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be there for you. I'll cheer you on, you know?
Like, you're like, I'll help you study.
No, yeah. So I still would tell her that. And even now, but it's just she feels like she's older now, but it's never too late.
It's never too late. Never too late.
No.
So then what happened in the second marriage? You said that she went through 2 divorces.
Yeah. So, I mean, my stepdad, I mean, I'm so blessed. I was really blessed. He took me in as 3 months, a 3-month-year-old baby, right? And it's hard. It's hard I feel like when you're coming in and dating someone who already has a kid, I feel like that's already a lot. It's a lot to take, especially at such a young age. They were so young. But I'm so grateful for my stepdad, you know, to do that. And my dad, biological dad, he worked so much. I probably saw him once every 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's always raised me with three goals, which is don't depend on a man, make your own money, and like get it done, basically. So every time I'd see him, it's just, he felt like he did his dad job. My mom would call him Disneyland dad. Because like I'd see him take me to do something fun, but then he'd make sure to like engrave in me those 3 things. And he felt like, okay, I did my job. My daughter's gonna grow up and do fantastic now that I gave her that great advice, you know? But when I didn't feel like he was missing because I had my stepdad, if that makes sense. So I never felt like close to him. I never felt like I was like, where's my dad? You know, because I felt like in my heart, my stepdad was always my real dad. Like he raised me. But I did see a lot, you know, like with my stepdad and my mom. I feel like there was the moment they kind of knew. I think my brother was just born, so I was about 14 years old. And I think at that age, I think my mom and stepdad should have really just already pulled the plug on their marriage really soon, because I think shortly after that, when you're young, I don't think parents realize that kids see everything, they understand everything. And I think that's so crucial. And that's one thing I want to tell you, parents, that like, even though you think that your kid doesn't know, or you think you're being quiet around the house, or you think they can't hear that phone call, or you think they can't hear the yelling at 3 a.m. No, I'm here to tell you that we can hear it. I think we just kind of adjust and we mold to not say anything, or we're also naive at that age too, right? We're not really aware of what's going on.
The full extent.
Yeah.
I mean, you are aware of what's going on. And we tell clients that all the time. Make sure you don't talk to us with the kids around.
Oh, that's a huge thing.
Don't bring the kids to the office. We don't want somebody being like, I went to mommy's lawyer's office the other day, and then it's a whole new thing.
Kids are way smarter than we think. So even then, you know, just seeing my mom and my stepdad during their marriage, I think seeing the toxicity again, it wasn't always like that. You know, not every marriage starts off that way. But seeing the fighting, obviously there was a lot privately from both their relationship that happened. There was unfaithfulness in the relationship as well. So I think after that, honestly, I think you have to either fix it or figure it out. And we went to church. They were doing everything to fix their marriage, but it just was not working. It was like constantly gnashing at each other, constantly fighting with each other. It was not being able to forgive one another. And it's like, if you can't get past that forgiveness, I think that at that time you have to really think about, one, the children going forward. For me, I mean, I was pretty strong at such a young age growing up. So, but I'm just saying for children who have different outcomes or raised differently, or they blame their parents for the way they are today, I think those children,
Yeah,
you know.
because you have a brother who was in that
And
marriage.
he actually,
how is he?
recently, he's 22 now, but he actually, lately, it's so weird. Like, we didn't think again, every kid's different. Like me, I'm like, get over it. My mom's always, like I was telling Karina earlier, my mom's always been like, you have 1 minute to cry, and that's enough. Like, but you know, looking back, I'm like, man, she made me stronger.
Yes.
You know, like, I can still communicate and talk about my feelings, but it's true, I'm very passive, where it's like, I always tell myself there's worse things in this world, right? So that gets me by. But my brother recently, out of nowhere this last year, he's been like, well, you're the reason I'm like this. Well, you're the reason I'm to my parents. Well, Dad, you know, and you were like this. And one of the biggest things is my brother is like, well, the reason that I'm like aggressive is because of you, Mom, the way you were. And I'm like, where's this coming from? And then him being like, you know, I'm like this today because of you, like of my parents, the way they raised me or the way I was. And I'm like, Mom and Dad never said no to you. Like, Mom and Dad gave you everything. But I just think, like, in his head, the home was broken because of my parents. He thought that he wasn't raised correctly, which is crazy because I'm like, man, kid, you had it so good, like, compared to me. You know, it was like, there was nothing Mom and Dad, they think never said no to him. They gave him everything. That kid was so spoiled. But because I think he just remembers Mom and Dad fighting or Mom and Dad being aggressive, like those things. And my brother's starting to have those mannerisms where he's like, well, Mom and Dad are to blame, you know? And it's because I'm like, and he's like, I had a rough childhood. And I'm like, no, you didn't.
You're like, we grew up in the same household. We had a great childhood.
I'm like, if anything, like, I think my first couple years were the hard part. I'm like, you had it great.
You're like, you would have never survived in my shoes.
No,
You were like, you were 1 month old.
Yeah, I was like, relax. But I think that, like, I think he's like, and then he'll calm down. He does have, you know, he has ADHD. He has a little bit of autism growing up. So that was another thing as well. So I think for him, and that also to speak to parents as well, like for my brother who doesn't have great memory at times, because when you're diagnosed like that, it's hard for you to remember certain things.
Yes.
You just remember, like, nitpick at the bad things.
Yes.
So for him, it was like, well, that's why I'm like this.
'Cause
That's
he
why, and he
remembers-
doesn't remember the good.
But kids are like that in general. People
Yeah.
are like that because you remember events based on your feelings.
Yeah.
And most of the time, anger or frustration or sadness overpower happy moments.
Yeah.
A lot of kids
true.
talk about how they remember a lot of the happy times and not the bad times. Like you can be talking to someone and be like, oh, remember that time we were at the park? It's like, yeah, remember I totally like busted my head on that thing. You're like, what?
Yeah.
But then there's also, which I've been seeing, you know, on TikTok, people talking about not remembering their childhood.
Yes.
Like, why can't I remember past a certain age or at
Yeah.
a certain age? I don't.
But like
wow.
TikTok, yeah.
But people like talk about it. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, wait, yeah. And apparently it's you either went through something that your brain is helping you block
Yeah.
out so that you don't. But I'm like, I can't, well, I obviously can't remember. And we always joke in my friend group that I'm Dory because
You
I
remember.
cannot.
Man, I wish.
Well,
I
they
wish I could
have
forget
these,
some things.
They have these like therapists or something that you can go to.
RERM?
Yeah, that they do like, I don't know, some shock.
REM.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
something to you. And then it helps you remember things. And I'm like,
And
at
that it's very
point,
emotional and people
my
cry.
goodness.
do I
because
want to
they, like,
remember those?
No, I'm good. I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the problem is that you're looking at it like, oh, I'll be fine. But then when you're in that moment and you finally remember, and they say a lot of childhood trauma triggers your brain to block it.
It's like a Band-Aid. You're
It
just ripping
really
off like
is.
anything that could
It really
transpire,
is.
Yeah.
And I think that you said this earlier. I know a part of you probably wishes that your parents divorced a lot sooner, right? And so how long after you said that you were about 14 when it really started, how long did they stay together?
Oh man, I think so. It's been, I mean, time went by so fast after, but I think it's only been, was like 6 years? I think it's only been 6 years they've been divorced.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
they
so like
still
20,
stayed.
like, so yeah, they stayed an extra like 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that you talk so highly about your step parent and your relationship that you had with your stepdad, because I think a lot of people come to us with recently divorced and they're so worried about a new person in their child's life.
Yeah.
And we're always like, well, if they're great, then what's the problem? Well, I don't want them meeting someone new. And it's like, I know you want to protect your child, but
Or I don't want them at the dance recital. I don't want them at the
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you have extra
Graduation.
people loving your kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, make yourself like
Yeah.
have a good relationship with that person, so
Yeah.
that maybe because you can't talk to your baby mama or your baby daddy, like you
Yeah.
can talk to them because you
Yeah.
guys don't have any drama. So sometimes that works. Sometimes they're
Yeah.
like, no, lady, you're crazy. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Which I thought, I was telling her that again, that's something else that we realized, how your biological dad, after the marriage with your mom, was in another relationship with your stepmom, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a
And
horror.
then now you have a sister through that marriage.
Yeah.
But you and your stepmom have a fantastic relationship,
Oh, yeah.
but your dad
yeah.
and her like hate each other.
Oh, so like no, I mean, like I said, if we sat and talked about this, I mean, there would be many more hours. Yeah, I'm like,
She's like, I can't even talk because
I
it's
know,
so
it's
She's
a
like,
lot.
episode 1 of 978.
No,
like,
there's-
who the heck?
Yeah, because I'm
right?
just right now. I'm like, where do I even tackle this on? Yeah, so currently today, if we're gonna talk about current events today, actually, my stepdad actually hates my mom.
No, your biological dad.
No, him too.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So
Oh, yes,
James,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, she's like, no, actually, yeah, you're right. he
Yeah,
does.
you're right. Both
like,
sides.
He's actually a missionary right now in Mexico. I think I've been on the edge with him too lately, just because my grandma died, and that was a big shock to me because she was like my mom. Like I said, I had the 3 empowering women in my life, and she was like my best friend. So it was like I lost another mom basically. And he didn't even go to the funeral. Like that's how much he like did not like my mom. And like to this day, like I try to forgive him, and I say I have, but it's like, wow, you really couldn't even put aside what you feel for my mom
For you.
your pride, you know? So right now he's a missionary in Mexico. I don't think he's been doing his dad duties for my brother as well. My brother completely ignores his text messages where my stepdad will be like, your brother's not responding. And I'm like, well, why do you think? You know, like I don't say that to him to hurt his feelings. Dad, if you're seeing this one, I know the truth. But I think in the midst of it too, I want to share this too, just for parents so they can know as well. When my stepdad, you know, when they were finalizing the divorce and everything, there was a moment in my head where I was like, wow, like, what are you to me now?
Yeah.
You know, and I never thought of it. It was weird. It came out of nowhere. Like, okay, this person, he's still my dad. And we even shared that where I got emotional. I cried with him, and he's like, I'll always be your dad. No. You know, like I raised you, you know. I even get choked up thinking about it right now because it's like, wow, like, I think that moment I was like, wow, I guess it did impact me. The divorce did. I didn't think it would because it was like, dude, good riddance. Like, we're done.
Thank God they're done fighting.
Yeah, but then when I stopped and thought about myself.
Because you had a good relationship with your stepdad.
No, to me, it was like, even with whatever he had done, like I always put it as like, whatever my mom does, like the relationship I have with her is me and her. Whatever my dad has done, like that's between them. But like, what have you done for me and what you did for me, that will never go unnoticed, you know, growing up. So, but as far as now with his actions of being there for my brother, non-existent. So that's the thing right now where I'm dealing with as well. Instead of being a father figure to my brother, you know, he's just feeling like he's choosing himself at this moment, and being a missionary, technically choosing God. But I mean, there's just ways where like, even biblically, I want to just get into this where it says like, you know, your home is first. Yeah. And that is biblical.
Or
Like
just
the
your
home,
children,
yeah, and that too is first. That comes first. So that's where the missionary comes first. Like that is what God has intended for us. So even that, it's like a whole other ball game, right? Now, speaking with my dad, my biological dad, he actually got along with my mom really well. I think they struggled when I was 14, and it was always about finances.
Oh, okay.
It was always like, and back then, obviously, the dollar was worth more when I was younger, you know? So it was always about finances. And that's when I think they would have like that rough patch where they would like go back and forth of like, where's the check for the month? Or, you know,
But
some
your
things I would
parents
do.
never went to court. They never went to
No,
through
my
the court
mom,
system.
you know, my mom never really like cared. Like she never was big on like fighting for more or like wanting more. Like she just wanted my dad around more, you know, but she didn't even care about that. Like I think she knew that I was strong enough and had a good support system that she was like, if you come and see her, fine. Like she's not missing you. Like, and I really didn't. It's so sad to say, like my biological dad not being present, it like now it makes an impact. Now I'm looking back and I'm like, now that I'm an adult, I'm like, wow, like you really were not there. Like you would send the check and thought that you did
Your job.
Yeah, you did your job. Great. you know, like.
But kids are expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm sure your mom was like, hello, because no
yeah.
matter how much you make, kids are expensive. And 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, they all get more expensive.
And my mom struggled. Like my mom, I think, again, I was everywhere in Downey. Like I probably lived at 7 different locations, whether it be like an apartment, different apartments, a house, grandparents' houses. Like I was always flopping around all the time. And my mom struggled, you know, but she still would do that rather than ask my dad, you know, for more or to even bother him for anything else.
And we see that a lot in moms. Yeah. They're like, I just don't want to deal with it. And I'm like, get the money and put it in a college fund, or give it to your child when they turn 18 so that they can buy a car, or give it to them later on so that they can buy a house. But that money you should take, because a lot of them are like, well, I don't know, I don't want to take the money, or
it's an ego thing too. Like I don't want him to think that like he helped me,
or that I need it. I did it all on my own. It's like nobody at the end of the day is gonna be like, wow, you did it all on your own. Like maybe, but how did that really impact you having to raise a child on your own? And obviously, you know, with her relationship and everything else, she had more than one kid. It's a lot on people, and everyone's financial situation is different.
So my stepmom did the opposite. She did what you're saying. She was like, you know what, like this is going to benefit my daughter in the future, which is my stepsister. She was like, so you know what, she took him to court. Or it wasn't even like court to the end. I think it was just like mediation, right? Like
and they were able to settle.
So so it wasn't even like extreme. My dad just made it a big old commotion that it was like a big old thing than it was, and it was just her asking for what is rightfully should be, you know, his daughters.
Yes.
You know, so at the time, he made it a big old fuss. I wasn't really close to my stepmom as much then. I wasn't seeing my stepsister also as much, but that's because life. You know, I had a bunch going on, college, all this, and
your sister was little.
She was little still. I'm so obsessed with her now. We're so close now. But it's just crazy that I had to take all this rockiness to get to where we're at. But that happened, and my dad just said a lot of things and was like, your stepmom's, you know, this and that for doing that. And you know, he had just resentment toward her. And then till now, and that was years ago. That was like 5 years ago, and he's still not over it. Well, whatever. She just wanted me and my sister closer. And we went on a trip to Boston. And looking back, I don't regret it, but my dad basically disowned me because I decided to go on this trip with my stepmom and my stepsister. And he was mad. Like he cussed me out on the phone. It's been now like a year since I've talked to him.
That's so frustrating because that was his feelings, his ego, not looking at it like, at the end of the day, I have 2 daughters that are enjoying their time together, regardless of the circumstances. As parents, we should want our kids to have a close relationship, because when we're gone, that's all that they're going to have. They're going to just have each other.
And also, her sister is still a minor. So, of course, her mom is going to accompany them on the trip.
Yeah, like I don't expect
like that is her mom.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, even today, my sister feels, I know a little part of her is like, oh my gosh, like dad's not talking to you either, because I mean, he's already stopped talking to her and he treats her a certain way. My sister, and I know I say step a lot, but just so you guys can know, but to me, she's my sister. Yeah. Like there's no, my stepbrother is not my stepbrother. Like they are my blood. Like when I see my sister, she is the epitome of me. She is my twin. I love her to death. So when I'm around her, I just try to encourage her the best. And I know she doesn't say it, but I know she's going through what I went through at that age with my biological dad, which is, again, no girl should be dealing with that. No daughter should be dealing with that. Like you mentioned, my dad should be so thrilled that his 2 daughters went on a trip to Boston together, had a great time, and they get along so well. Yeah. Like that should be the mentality.
But it's not, because the mentality is the other parent. It's like they're still mad at that person, and they can't see the bigger picture. And he's in a
whole new relationship.
Oh yeah.
So no, people never get over it.
Think that you would over it.
Oh yeah, and my stepmom has a new boyfriend. Like she's like, oh God. Like
sometimes it's like people will continue taking each other to court for years, and I'm like, we're still doing this. Like, hey, it's great to hear from you, but like, what?
Yes,
you guys haven't gotten over it yet. Yeah. And then sometimes we'll have people that are going toe to toe throughout the whole custody process, and then it's over, right? We're like, these are the orders. It is what it is. Go your separate ways. Just do what you have to do. And then they'll come back like, oh, as soon as custody was done and And the case was done. We became friends, and we're like, you guys are friends.
You
like,
could have.
yeah. And I'm like, wow, okay. And it happens a lot, but then when we see the other side, where it's like people are just stay so bitter, and nothing you say to them, nothing you do for them, establish custody orders or anything, it's not gonna get rid of how they feel towards the other parent.
Oh yeah, no.
And that's frustrating.
And it's a year, and my dad's so stubborn. It's crazy, but
and then recently, or a few years ago, I think you found out you had another.
I mean, we could, like I said, episode 1 of, but yeah, I found I had another sister. And again,
on your dad's, not your
biological dad.
And the math wasn't mathing because this girl was so close to my sister's age. And he was dating my stepmom at the time. And that's another reason why I put my dad on timeout 4 years ago for another year. But it's like, I don't know why I'm thinking he's going to learn his lesson, and it's like not. And sometimes you just don't get along with your parent, and that's fine. Well, it's not fine, but I'm saying, like, instead of dwelling on it, I just told my dad, we've had many talks where I said, like, it's best that I take a break from you because I don't want to see my parent in the way I shouldn't see them. Like, I want to see the good things of you being Disneyland dad back then and helping me out, instead of seeing, because I feel like I was growing this, like, resentment and like, what, like, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I told him this. I told him this over the phone. I'm like, I think it's best we just don't talk because I'd rather see you the way I used to see you, because now you're just disappointing me so much by your actions and how you are and how you treat us as your daughters.
I think that's so important that you were able to set that boundary, because a lot of people don't. And we think like family's family, we have to do whatever we do to our family, right? But then sometimes family is very disrespectful.
Oh, super.
Sometimes they are hurtful or, tend to get aggressive because what, we're family, or tend to, push their limit, but we're family, so it's okay. It's like, well, it's really not.
Yeah, it is not.
It's
and I feel like, I think we talked about this with Jackie, where when we voice, right, your parents are telling you something, you not, talk back, but you respond to what they're telling you, they take that as, oh, you're so disrespectful, you're talking back. And it's like, I'm not yelling, I'm not cussing you out, I'm trying to have a conversation, but you're not liking what I'm saying, and now you are taking that as me being disrespectful. Yeah. So this conversation is going nowhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so hard when you don't have a good relationship with your parent enough for you to be like, look, let's sit down, let's talk about this, because this is how I feel. Because I mean, at this point, you know how he is, right? He's already gone through so many relationships, has continued to not be a very good father to your stepsister, and now your newly discovered sister. Yeah. And so he's probably not going to change. Yeah. And that happens a lot, and we see it a lot.
And I actually didn't even talk to the sister I found out I had. I actually didn't even speak to her or meet her. That was an argument we had and it's so sad to say this, but I'm just going to say it, where at the time I told him, I was like, okay, well, if she's around long enough, then maybe I'll do it. And he just disowned her right after. Like, I think it was like 2 months, and he just forgot about her.
Why am I going to get?
Yeah, and I say that. I don't think he realized, and I think that too, like at such a young age, I had to be like an adult with my parents, where I was like, he did call me about 4 months ago to try and fix things, and he cried, and I was like, well, if you remember this call in the morning, then you can call me again. Never got a call again. So it was very like, I already know the patterns. Like, I know my parents' patterns. I know what it's like. So even me telling him, like, well, if you keep her around, then yeah, I'll have a relationship with her. And he didn't even keep her around. So it's like, you didn't even want to be a dad. But thankfully my sister, she also had what I had, a stepdad growing up. So it's not like she missed. It was like she just wanted to discover who her biological dad was. But it's like after she knew what kind of person he was, she was quick to be like, yeah, I think I'm good,
Yeah. And I think that's why step parents sometimes take on a role that they don't even know that they're taking on, right? Like, is this person going to like me? How am I going to fit in? And it's hard. It's not just like they come in, and sometimes you see on TikTok, like, oh, this horrible step parent or horrible stepmom or new baby mom or whatever. Yeah. But you have to look at it like your kid deserves another person to love them. Yeah. And unless you can show me that the step parent is a danger to your child or is going to hurt them or is doing some crazy stuff, like, why not? Why not? and your kid is going to want you there as a mom. Your kid is going to want you there as their dad, but the kid probably wants the stepmom there because now the kid has made a relationship with stepmom or stepdad. And in your case, your stepdad raised you.
Yeah. But I will say, I mean, because I'm now in school psych, so I do know that I think there's the other flip coin to that where it's good to be hesitant as well, just a little. But I'm saying if you're a mom who's constantly bringing a new guy in every week or every once a month, that's something you also have to be aware of because, whoever it is, son or daughter, can grow up and be like, well, you always had men coming in, women coming in, so it's like they flip the coin of like, well, that's the way I am today. That's why I'm always in different relationships, or this is why I'm always, sleeping around with this person, because you always were like that when I was younger.
Yeah.
So
I actually had a friend like that growing up.
Yeah.
Where I feel like her mom was always dating. And when we were younger, it just was like cool. Like, oh, your mom's on another date. Like, let's go hang out at your house. And cool. And then her mom would come home and I'd be like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. And like the next day, like, hey, okay, I'm going to go home because we live relatively close to each other. And then now.
Sounds like us.
I know, right? Yeah. And now I feel like she has adapted to the same patterns as her mom.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she sees it or not, but I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah, you're seeing it, of course, but your child really doesn't know it's happening, right? They're like, my mom, Heidi always makes a joke that my mom and her are like Jenny and Georgia. And I was like, yeah, but I wouldn't be Jenny and like rattle her mom. Like I'd be like, okay, what are we doing with the body? Like, I'm just kidding.
What are we doing?
Like my mom and I are best friends. Like I'm not, So looking back, I'm like, man, like she really set like the bar high. Like she's been always a woman that I'm looking at. I'm like, she's been great, but she's always told me growing up. And it's crazy because what you tell your kid, it really does impact them. Like, it really does. Like my dad saying that every time to me of like, you need to have a career on your own and not depend on a man, it stuck. Because I was like, I'm going after my career. I'll find my person later on, but my career is first. So I do thank my dad for that. I think that maybe that little piece of advice helped. My mom would always say, do everything the opposite that I do. Everything that I've done, do the opposite of me. And it stuck because I am the opposite of my mom today. Like every bad mistake, she's basically saying like every bad mistake she's done, everything, like look at it and just do the opposite,
No, not my mom. My mom's like, I'm perfect. Yeah. You need to be a better mom. You need to do this. And I'm like, lady, look at me. Do I look all right to you? I'm just kidding.
But like even seeing Jenny and Georgia, like the show, I thought a lot about my mom, and I think it made me relate a lot to like, I don't stop and think of what my mom also endured, growing up, and why she is the way she is today.
You see all those things, like they're living their life like for the first time too. Yeah. And I mean, I see it with my kids, and I think it's hard because they all have different personalities. Yeah. So the way I am with one, I can't be with the other. Yeah. And I have to adjust myself because I can't just be me with all three of them. Yeah. I have to adapt to how they feel and how they take in information. And I think my mom never did that. Yeah. And I try to be different, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make mistakes because this is the first time I'm a mom. And hello, I'm still 21. No, I mean, I'm not.
And I mean, you learn from your life lessons. If you just go by cruising the world, that doesn't think for you.
You have to learn by them. But we're all living this life for the first time too.
But our parents are so worried that they don't want us to mess up. They don't want us to get hurt.
They don't want us to make the same mistakes that they've done.
But they're doing that from a good place. Oh yeah. But
that's why I said I look back now.
Life is gonna drag us down a little bit sometimes
too.
It took a long way, but now I am looking at it back. Now that I'm 30, I'm like, wow, like I can see why my mom said all that, did all that, the decisions she made, even choosing a stepdad for me. Everything she made, I look back and I'm like, it was really just for me. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm so grateful for my parents as well because I think that every decision that they made was for my brother and I. Oh yeah. And they are amazing parents. I just think that they were raised differently. Oh yeah. And she wasn't raised the way that now I'm raising my kids. So what she knew as a parent was what she knew growing up. Yeah. So then it trickled down to me. And now I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to throw that parenting style out the window because I don't think that works. And now I'm different with my kids. And so I'm assuming you'll be the same way, even though you can see why your mom was the way that your mom was. But the fact that your mom says, like, do the opposite, like, that's awesome. She's
very, like, she says it all the time. And we're so, Heidi, we're so opposite. Yeah. Like we are.
They look exactly the same, but they're opposite.
Oh yeah, she is my
my mom and I are opposite too. We're so opposite.
It's crazy, but it works.
Yeah.
Like I can't be without her. Like even if we're mad at each other, I'm like,
You're
hey,
like, okay, let's stop.
I'm like, are we over it? Okay, cool. Like, are you done? Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's you two.
It is, and it's always been. Like even stepdad, dad. Like I always say this, it's not about, you know, how many homes you've been in, it's what's in the home. You know, it's who's in the home. You know, if you are one parent and you're thinking, I can't do this on my own, yes you can.
Yeah.
And just be mom and dad. If you're just dad, be mom and dad. And you can do it because my mom did it. So that's for every parent out there that's thinking, I can't do this alone. No, you can. You know, you really can, but you just have to put in a little bit more of the double the work. And when you're fearful about like not being around for your kid, like just talk to your kid constantly, being like raising them correctly and just making sure that you're empowering them constantly. Because I remember, like I said, if I would have just been with my mom, I would have still felt okay. I would have been fine. And like I said, all that extra love that you're saying about stepdads and all that, like my mom, my grandma, my aunt, they all did such an amazing job where I didn't feel like I needed a dad. It's crazy to say. I was blessed, but I didn't really feel like anything was missing because I was so loved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until later on where you're like, oh, I should have had this relationship with my dad. My dad should have tried
and
harder.
I would have loved that. But again,
in
like
the
you
moment,
said, and like you said, sometimes what's best for you is cutting off. It could be cutting off, you know, your own family. And that's best for both of you. I mean, I look back and I'm like, it could be way worse. Like you could have done a lot way worse things if I just kept that door propped open. And right now, my stepsister, I'm still letting her go through it where she's like, she'll still text him here and there for holidays, but she doesn't see him anymore. And I'm telling her, if you choose to see dad tomorrow, I will be by your side.
Yeah.
But she's making her decision on her own growing up now, and she's seeing it on her own. Like, no, I don't want this either. Like,
well, it's funny because I feel like I tell parents that, like, you don't have to tell your kid that the other parent is horrible. They're going to find out.
I said that, and I literally, I live and breathe by saying that.
Yes.
I don't know who I was talking to the other day, but I was like, it does not matter what you say to your kid. And if anything, don't ever play, my friend is really going through it. She's baby mama, everything. And she just broke up with her boyfriend and she's going through it. And I was like, you don't need to tell your daughter anything. She's little and she was crying on Christmas while the little one's opening presents. She doesn't know right now, but I was like, she doesn't know now, but would you rather her be seeing parents crying like that all the time every holiday instead of just leaving him now? And she left him, thank God, literally last week. But in my head, I'm like, you don't understand, but she will see it on her own. You don't need to talk bad. And I was like, and actually don't.
No,
don't talk bad about him.
Yeah.
Do not, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say. And it's better off that you don't talk bad about him, because at the end of the day, that is respectfully, no matter what he's done to you, that is your daughter's dad.
Yeah. Yes.
But trust me when I say, she will see it on her own and she will see why you guys aren't together and she will see the type of man her father is on her own.
Absolutely.
By herself.
And we literally say that all the time, but nobody believes us.
No, it's, you know, you don't want to be that bad parent. You don't want to be that parent that talks bad about the man or woman that you chose at one point.
Sad. So sad.
Yeah, like mommy, mommy says that your new baby mama is really mean, and like the baby mama's there, like, although I'm the wife, I've been the wife for 10 years. What do you mean I'm nice to you?
But I was like,
what
we
else
forget.
Did they say? What else did they say? I know, and then like, don't probe your kid for information.
But I always tell I'm always like, you picked them at one point.
Yes.
You married them at one point. You dated them at one point. You were in love with them at one point. Yeah, like, what?
No, a lot of cases that we have, and now we're dealing with the divorces. We're reading, we're looking at the pictures of the home after the divorce, and we're like, how were you with this person? Because our clients
once upon a time,
so level-headed, but
normal. Yeah. But we deal a lot with mental health stuff that comes up later, addictions that get out of control, things that have been hidden for years, and sometimes people spiral. So I get that aspect, but we're like, wow, this is insane. Like, we have to bring a lot of our clients on here to tell the story, because I think if we told the stories that we have, people don't believe us. I don't think people would believe us.
No, yeah.
And sometimes their own attorneys don't believe us about how their clients are. And then we're like, we have the proof, and they're like, oh, show it to me. And then they're like, oh, you really did have the proof. I'm like, yes, because I make everyone bring me the proof.
Yeah.
Well, the best part of the show, what you've been waiting for, to tell us about how you and Heidi know each other. And
yeah, so we've been best friends since middle school. It's like, what is that, like 15 years now? 15 years I've known
We were
you.
in 8th grade.
wow.
Yeah. Heidi's not even putting on a facade. It's just who she is.
I know.
Like, and honestly, sometimes I'm like, I wish I could be like that. I wish I wasn't crazy. I didn't want to break this glass for her. But we're the psycho ones. Like, we'll be the ones stalking. I'm sorry, Heidi, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
Thank you for joining us on Drama in Session. If you're navigating divorce, custody, or conflict, you're not alone. At Reina Law, this is the work we do every day. If you have a Los Angeles County case, you can contact our office for a free consultation at 562-360-1588 or visit us at karinareynalaw.com.
If today's episode helped you, share it with someone who may need it. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and join us next time as we continue breaking down the drama, the law, and the lessons in between.